Welcome to My Money Mindset podcast, where we explore how a healthy mindset is the foundation for financial success. Each week, we delve into mindset hacks and practical strategies to help you enhance your income, help you make more appropriate investments for yourself, and to improve your overall financial well-being. Join us on this journey to transform your financial future by transforming your mindset. Please note that the information provided on this podcast is for general information purposes only and does not constitute as personal, financial or health advice. It has been prepared without considering your individual objectives, financial situation or life needs. Before making any financial or health decisions, you should consult with a qualified professional or financial advisor to ensure the information aligns with your specific circumstances. So let's begin and enjoy this journey as each episode teaches us on how to improve our overall mindset that it overall improves our financial success. Recently I did an episode, very recent, upon the changing of your life or making little goals or goals to change your life. And I had a few clients or people contact me and say, oh, we wanted to hear more about it. It wasn't long enough. But they are doing everything. They seem to be happy with their life. Life is going well. They've implemented little goals in their life and it is working. But they sort of wanted to say the cycle of life. It's opened up a new horizon for them. And those of you probably should hear that episode before this one. I think it was called Changing of Your Life or something. But anyway, it's sort of what it delved into is basically as a baby, adolescence, young adulthood, as an adult, how our life shaped who we are today. And if we're not content with who we are today, what we should be doing to start to placing a direction upon our life to start being more content in life, right? And they sort of wanted to say, well, I should have gone more into the history of things. I want to hear more about the young, from baby to adolescence to a teenager to adulthood. So I thought I'd do a quick episode just to basically make people understand there is a cycle of life that we tend not to look at so much and ridicule upon. And why I'm saying ridicule is because, in a way, sometimes people feel as though they've been ridiculed of certain moments in their life. They look past and they say, well, had I known this, or as I aged or become wiser, I would have done things different in my teenage years, in my 20s, 30s, whatever, right? And a lot of the time we feel ridiculed as though we were sort of led up the garden path and that shaped us to who we are. Now, how does this all sort of turn out as the cycle of life, as what I put it? Simply because there's a certain structure, especially known in Australia, in quite a few countries for that matter, but most of the time, when we are young, we're sort of, and when I say young, let's call when we're children. The basic constituent of the way society works is, look, you go to preschool or you go to kinder or you go to preschool as they call it, and then you're told that with preschool you're going to go to a little bit better school next year, and you go to the next school and you learn, and you go to the primary school. From the primary school you go to the secondary school. You may choose to continue doing all up to year 12 and then going to university, or you choose to do a trade, and you're basically assisted or guided into which path you go. So whilst you're doing the schooling, or you're homeschooled or whatever, you're guided Yeah, even if you're homeschool, you're guided by parents. Even if you go to school, you're guided by everything that's it's at school. Then from basically from there, you start to be advised that you need to sort of find a job or career that would suit you and that you think that would be more suitable and would get you to a place in life where you think you'd be quite content with. So you choose subjects or you orientate what you learn towards this future goal of being employed or running a business that entails what you enjoy. So if we just recap on that quickly, you go to kinder or preschool, you go to school, then from school you go to secondary school, from secondary school you're guided to go to university or take a trade, and then from there you make these little decisions towards the job and career that you thought would suit you most at that time, which is a big responsibility, guys. So this is why I say at that time, you as who you were should be quite content in a way, even if you're not or you do have regrets of not doing enough in life, maybe address it and change what it is upon that point in time that you could have done better or improve upon, right? That's if you're not happy. Or improve upon, meaning that you're on the right path, just need to do a little bit more effort, right? And then from your job and your career, you work for the next 40, 50, whatever years, and then you retire. And then when you retire, you're meant to have this idea of doing nothing. There's nothing more sinister in my mind to be doing, waking up and not having a purpose in life. So retirement to me, what does that look like? Retirement for me is a purpose in life that I enjoy getting out of bed for as I'm getting older. My body's failing, all that sort of stuff that I'm going to get when I get older. Um, I'm actually going to enjoy having a purpose out of life. And this is just something that we all sort of got to address. Don't think that life is just getting out of bed and going on holiday every day, because even a holiday can sometimes get boring. So you need purpose, right? And it doesn't mean having a purpose 7 days a week. It means having a holiday purpose, all that sort of stuff, right? Hobbies, all that. And then it's pretty much that whole journey from schooling all the way to retirement has been graded, right? So what I mean by that is every time you're at school, so preschool, you're sort of graded. Hey, yeah, this is what you need to do. You need to bring your grades up, or this is what you need to do. And you're guided towards all that. Preschool, school, sorry, university, trade, and we're directed to do the best possible job and achieve that. Um, in saying that, we do have opportunities to sort of enhance our skills. It's just that it's a guidance thing, right? Um, now, the system is sort of always set up to coach us to always aim higher. And what I mean by that is, well, when you're at preschool, look, when you're at preschool, soon, if you do well at preschool, you're going to go to high school. Do well at high school or secondary school, you're going to go to university or you're going to get a trade and then if you do good at university, you're going to get a better job. Then when you're at the job, you then say, well, you're going to need to do more. If you're doing really well at this job, you're going to need to do this, this, and this. And forever placed in this system of if you do this, you're going to get better. If you do this, you're going to get better. And that's all it is. But it's a guidance, right? It's not to be taken as gospel. So what I'm saying is sometimes don't always look for the people that are guiding you. Look within yourself and ask yourself after you do receive guidance or advice, is that suited for me? If someone turned up and said to me, Mark, you should be a really good chef, when I'm really know that my cooking ability isn't quite there, yes, I could develop skills, but is it what I really wanted to do? You've got to question it. And I might turn up and say, oh, I don't mind cooking. Yeah, I do enjoy it. I might have a look at that and then sacrifice the next 5 years of becoming a chef. But is it really what I want? So you guys, you know yourself, are the best to sort of mirror, especially now as adults, young adults, older adults, that's going to be more suited to you. So get out of that a system that enables to always coach you along and feed the little carrot in front of you to say, well, do this and you'll get this more reward. Do this and you'll get a more reward. Do this and you'll get a more reward. It it disfocuses our own focus upon where we would prefer to go, right? So, um, and they do this so you feel as though, well, if you don't do what they're advising you, you're going to fall behind. And it keeps you within that sort of mouse wheel to sort of say, well, you better keep up because as you're going through your schooling and so on and so forth in your job and your career, if you don't do it, you're going to fall behind. And as people sort of go through their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s and so on, they somewhat feel as though they sort of never really got what they thought they would have got out of life. Yeah, is there times where you sort of look upon a period in your times, if it's your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and you say, well, I could have done it better. Or what would have that looked like? That sort of thing.
But then question what that better chosen to go to university and study biology or study engineering, yet you often look at becoming a pilot. What would that entail? And really, at that time when you had to make that decision, did you really think that you could have become a pilot, or was it in your personality traits at the time and not 20 years later your personality making the decisions for you 20 years ago? What does this all mean at the end? Really, it just means that we've got a better understanding of how we got to where we are today, right? Regrets, no regrets, whatever, but be appreciative of what we have. Now, if that's the case and we know what we could do better, don't always place your life into blocks or unit blocks of age. I in my 20s, I in my 30s. Don't label it my 40s, my 50s. And why I say don't label it is because really all you're doing is compressing in your mind, in your intrinsic brain, saying, well, I better hurry up and make a decision and I'm so rash. You got plenty of time. In 24 hours, there's a lot you can do, yeah? And then you in a 7 day week, there's a lot you can do. It's actually the distractions in life that aren't allowing you to do that. So, okay, now that we're quite alert upon, right, we're going to make some decisions as of today and orientate our life to where we want to go in a positive direction, in a forthcoming direction. We're going to save a lot more money. We're going to be in a better predicament by the time in 5 years, etc. This is where I'm going to be. And we make these goals. You've got to implement these characteristics. I want to say characteristic, but implement these goals within your character, within your behavior, within your personality. If going back to me becoming a chef, which I don't think is ever going to happen, but I don't mind cooking for certain parts. Yeah, if I'm forced to cook, it's a different story. If I have to cook, yeah, not so bad. Whatever, right? Or if I just do it because I want to feed the people beautiful food. If that was going to be something that I thought about, you know what, Mark, start doing it, I would implement it in my life as in, well, simply I'll go start researching foods. I'll start looking at what type of foods I'd become a better chef at. Is it sweets? Is it savoury? Is it all over? Any sorts of foods. What type of chef would I be? And I start to have a look at that, and I start living and breathing that. A great way to start that is get a hobby in the same connotation. So this, my hobby would be to then after work somehow go do some cooking classes or get on a social platform where a lot of people who enjoy the same thing as in food and stuff like that, join those social, get the feed that the information that keeps populating into your feed and picking up some great information and slowly orientating your life that way more so than anything. Now that's quite evident, but unfortunately, as we get older, time seems to get the better of us and we run out of time and blah, blah, blah. All I'm saying is, as opposed to what it was 20, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, when you had to make a decision at high school or what career path, make the attentive foresight and implement the attentive requirements in your mind and in your goals to start structuring and orientating your life in that direction. I really hope that this episode sort of shared upon how the structure of life in normal sense, and it's a general rule of thumb, and it's a general way of life that we all sort of grew up and were sort of influenced in a way through schooling. Is there a better way? Probably, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. That's not a sort of thing to be discussed. You can't change the past. You certainly can start to orientate the present, and you can definitely look towards the future to what you want it to be, the outcome to be. It just means that you've got to make a few changes. And unfortunately, in this day and age, as we get older, a lot of people tend to stick to their old habits that have gotten to where they are today. And they stick to these habits because they fear letting go of these habits that make them feel secure. It makes them feel as though if they make any other sort of slight changes in their life may go south. I don't think it would in any sense, depending on what it is, of course. But what I'd like to think is that in any change or alteration or desire of direction in life, you definitely got to make some form of change or alteration. Nothing is ever going to change unless you make it change. If you're the sort of person that prefers to wait for change, you maybe have to implement like learning how to become really patient, and sometimes that does just plop into life. But if it's something as in a career or money mindset, as in I want to increase my financial wealth and have all these type of endeavours to better your life, then I do think that you're the captain of your own ship, and you need to be steering that ship in the direction, right? And once you learn that it's only through your behaviour and your way of life and your thinking and your sharing ability socially and so on and so forth, that's actually going to get you closer to the ability of becoming more content with what you actually want to do in life, and not having to worry about in the next 10 years looking back upon today that you should have or could have or would have. So a lot of the time people prefer to be safe in their thinking than adventurous. And what I mean by that is, well, I feel safe if I do make too many changes. It may sort of change my life too drastic, and I won't know what to do. It may go out of control, and I've upset the whole thing. Guys, I'm not asking you to invest $1 million in anything or anything like that. It's simply making slight changes, ever so slight changes that are going to steer you in the life that you would prefer. Feeling safe is doing the same thing that you've known for the last X amount of years, right? Feeling adventurous in a sense, and I'm not saying just jump off the cliff and hope for the best. Feeling adventurous and trying implementation of new things is the next best thing. What often helps with change, believe it or not, and I say it all the time, is the health of your body, the clean oxygen that you would breathe, the clean food that you would eat. Make sure that you're hydrated. Make sure that you're, fully vitamined up. You're eating all the essential food. You're in tip top, right? I'm not saying you've got to be the perfect physical specimen, but it means that your health, your heart rate, you look after your blood pressure, all these type of things. They're not the be all end all, but collectively, as your constitution of your body, they make who you are. And the healthier you are, the healthier body you are, the healthier thinking you'll have, the healthier ability to be able to mentally stimulate yourself in a regard to think, hey, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to proceed with. So, yes, you can make a change. These changes, and when I say changes, collectively will be your health, slight things. Don't just go to the gym and go there for 2 hours every night. And it's slight things. Eat well, exercise, light exercise, fresh air, that sort of stuff, vitamins, and start to look at what you believe will always help you in orientating your life to where you would prefer it to be, and not where it was structured for you back in the day when you were at school or early career days or as a child or whatever, right? So the other thing also is a career coach, or not just a career coach, but also other people that mentor, life coaches, that sort of stuff, business coaches. So many times I've done coaching for business owners to, they love their business. They wish they could have changed it many years ago, but now it's too late. Change that business around, make it more profitable, implement stuff, new technology, whatever it may be. But it all starts from the owner of the business, just like the owner of your own self. The healthier you are, the healthier business is. The healthier you are, the healthier your home loan would be. The healthier you are, the healthier their whole entire life will be. And guys, once you get to that point in life where you are really content, or you're, really going great guns in life and you're loving it, health is so important because it gives you longevity. Why would you want to cut your life short with stupidity and making sure that your health is up? Because you finally got to that point in life, you don't want to let it go. You want it to last for as long as possible. Health is what's going to get you there. Being mindful is what's going to get you there. So, yes, do speak to a coach. Coaches are great when it comes to, everyone gets a lack of motivation. I even get lack of motivation. One of my biggest traits earlier on when I first started with investing and stuff was motivation, right? Having not getting, just saving for the first property back in whenever it was really difficult, because even if I didn't know it at the time, people around me or my social circle probably had other thoughts or goals in their life, where mine was to just get the first investment property and then learn from that and then see if I like it and grow wealth from that, because I grew up quite poor. So it was something to me that I always lacked motivation. When I say always, it only took one day of a lack of motivation for me to go, geez, am I doing the right thing? Should I buy this property? And you sort of go south. But then eventually you pick yourself up. Coaches are great when you can actually give them a call. How many times I'd get a call from one of my clients on a Sunday, Mondays especially, Monday, Tuesday, simply because they would have come back from an auction and go, Mark, I really wanted this house. It went out over 100 grand over what I wanted, and here we are today talking. A good mentor or coach won't charge you for this. They'll literally pick up the phone as a friend and say, no worries, let's see what we can do to get that, right? So don't always think or get caught into the aspect of speaking with mentors or coaches or business coaches or life coaches, and having them make you pay this ridiculous amounts of money for when really it's their ethos of being able to help you. Now, being able to help you is not slugging you millions of dollars, but you get the general gist. That they're hoping that you're going to keep calling them. A good mentor will always take the call or the text. It doesn't mean they're on call all the time, but it means that they're responsible for your next purchase or your next endeavors in life. If you call them every day, different story. I mean, that's totally different. But if it means that every now and again you need that pep up, once a month is not going to hurt. And once a month, readdressing if you feel like you're not getting anywhere in life or you need that motivation. Coaches are great, so are mentors, parents, all that type of stuff, right? Friends, get into gear, be surrounded by motivated people, and you will become motivated. I really hope that this episode did help. Like I said, this is general information. It's general, right? So many people may have grown up differently, but it's a general gist of what the way society works and guided us through it was. It was more addressed for the clients that did reach out and say, listen, I really wanted to understand what it is about my past that brought me to the future of who I am today, how I could have changed things. Change happens today. Yet we're thinking about yesterday today. So start thinking about today. I don't mean do not cherish yesterday. Cherish your memories, cherish everything. Cherish your bad and good. Bad memories hold you from and preventing him from doing them again. Bad things, right? So bad memories, you don't want them to reoccur back in the present or future. Remember them. Good memories, you want them to repeat or the same connotation, bring them into the now or the future. That sort of stuff, right? So that's what this episode was more about. It's actually understanding how we sort of got there because of social context and surroundings, and this is what we're doing today. Reach out if you do need any sort of further help with this. I'm more than happy to answer any questions and reply to any of the messages as what I usually do. Have a great day and week, and see you on the next episode. Thanks, guys.